It's delicious. Oh my god.
It's like a Caribbean.
Wow.
How
many shots?
2 shots.
Just 2.
Yeah.
24 seconds. Okay.
I think so. I just pulled the last shot on 21 and I think it was amazing. Okay, I think we're gonna need to do more. Damn.
Should record the intro, no? What are we drinking today?
Woo! Okay, so cheers. Still is delicious.
It's really good. Wait, we should probably introduce what are we drinking and who made it.
Oh,
Okay. Barista from Bricks.
Barista from Bricks.
Welcome, Barista from Bricks.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me and sharing this moment all together.
Thank you. Thanks for preparing the coffee.
Oh yeah.
Should we tell the audience what your name is, or you want to remain the barista from Bricks?
Yeah, no. My name is Huten. I'm the barista from Bricks. And I think we've been working together for the past 7 months, 8 months.
How long have you been in Barcelona?
For the past year.
You worked in coffee before, right?
Yeah, I've been working in the cafe industry for like 6 years now.
Almost as long as Rob. I mean, like 10 years less.
Yeah.
So
Some record says that he's sprouted as bean.
There's a lot of rumors out there.
Yeah.
But can you tell us what we're having today? Because every episode
Okay.
we have something to drink, and you prepared us.
So we are having a kind of tilted fake version of Carajillo. We are using the espresso in Liquor 44, but on
wait. What's a carajillo first for everyone that doesn't live in Spain or hasn't been here and asked for one?
I think Carajillo is basically the Mexican version of espresso martini. Instead of using cola and vodka, you're using Liquor 44. And I think basically the rest of the story is the same.
I'm just gonna make a point here that's called Liquor 43. Just in
43.
case we have no idea to tell if Huten is saying the truth right now, so we're just going to believe him.
About what? Where the carajillo comes from? I'm not sure if it's Spanish or Mexican.
It's Mexican.
It's Mexican?
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
It is Mexican.
Interesting.
I fact checked that with a Mexican person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did your own twist on it.
Yeah. So instead of the traditional recipe, we followed a shot of espresso, Liquor 43 is the same. And then we twist it with a little bit of agave and the coconut milk to break the alcohol a little bit with the sweetness of agave. And it's my own intuition that I thought the coconut and rice milk would blend in well with everything else.
It goes super good. I mean, the coconut is like, it's more tropical as the carajillo.
Yeah. And I do have to say that it tastes a bit like this caramel sweets that usually old people have at home. I don't know if you noticed. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Have you guys had your coffee already today?
Definitely.
Did you have it at home? Did you go somewhere?
I had it at home.
Okay, what were you doing?
So the cup that I'm having right now is quite big. Usually my morning drink would be like a latte or flat white. But now that my favorite cup is so big that I need to use more shots. So right now I'm drinking 3 shots of espresso with some oat milk in it. And I don't know what to call that.
That's the Pedro Pascal special.
Yeah.
You know, you've heard that story, right? I'm just going to interrupt a bit our morning coffee. There's this urban legend that Pedro Pascal doesn't drink an Americano, but he gets 6 double espressos.
6?
Yeah.
Jeez.
In the same cup.
Interesting.
Impossible.
We should ask. I mean, I'll ask him the next time I see him.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
From Starbucks.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
wow.
it's actually a Starbucks order.
Are we allowed to give out names?
We've talked about Starbucks before. They got nothing but good reviews from us. At least.
Definitely. I mean, Rob has a shrine at home.
Yeah.
People know this.
We love. Okay, so you made coffee at home today. And
Yeah.
very interesting. You were like, have your favorite cup.
Yeah.
So the cup is important, okay? Right? That's what we know. But more interestingly, you were like, what can we call this? And that's one thing that I wanted to bring up. Someone asked me in store, they're like, hey, can I get a cafe con leche? I want a little bit of milk. And I want the milk to be templada, which means in Spanish, without heating it up. But pretty much like, I guess, directly from the fridge, but not on ice. There's no ice involved. And I was like, you know what? We need a name for this. I want like a name for not steaming the milk. In Ireland, this never happens. Any of the Irish listeners out there, I know you're all a bit like, oh,
Can we do that?
here,
Is that an option?
free will moments, you know? So I don't know. It's just one for the listeners. But if you guys have an option, what's kind of room temperature milk drink going to be called?
Skimmed latte,
Skimmed?
because just the flat milk. It's neither cold or neither too hot. So it's also skimmed from the heat as well.
Skim latte. I'd said like bland latte, something
Bland-
like that. Like,
oh,
that sounds
that's so
like
mean.
no, but it sounds like really like plain, you know, like just getting a hamburger that has bread, meat, and bread.
Well, actually, in my favorite burgery kind of diner place in Barcelona, they have a pancakes, and one of them is called the Plain Jane.
The plain Jane.
The Plain Jane. So that could be the name for our coffee, like, or something along those lines. I don't know what that name was going to be. Like a templadito.
Templadito. That sounds quite cool.
On the topic of today's episode, we wanted to talk a little bit about making connections. And here we are, right, with our special guest. You came into the cafe, into breaks like 7 months ago, we said.
Yeah.
And you were just like chilling there having a coffee. And we started talking about coffee because I think people really like to talk about coffee, right? I've talked to coffee lovers, non-coffee lovers, you know, like everyone has something to say. Clearly, we have a lot to say. We started the podcast. Oh my God. We started talking about the coffee, and I was like, oh, this guy seems to know about coffee. I wonder, you know, we were also in the need of a barista. And we were like, are you looking for a job? And you were like, yep. And we're like, great, come back tomorrow.
Exactly. That's literally how it happened.
But can you imagine if that happens in another industry? Like you go to a bank, you're talking to the teller about money, and then you're like, hey, do you want a job? And you're like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
You seem to know a lot about this money stuff.
It's like, I don't know, it's interesting.
Ah, maybe we should have said that the carajillos where they do have liquor.
Oh yeah.
43. So you'll have to forgive us in this episode a little bit.
Yeah.
You do get the ideas that we go off topic a little bit, but not that much either. So, okay, Martin, did you have coffee today? And I also want to know your story of how you got into rum.
So I am extremely caffeinated today. Like most likely my most caffeinated day of the year. So I woke up today quite early and I went to the office and I was arriving a bit early. So I wanted to drink a flat white. So I had my flat white. Then I left around 11 to do an errand. And I was like, it's a nice hour for a cold brew. So I had a cold brew and I was talking to the barista, and the barista told me, hey, we were talking about yields and special things regarding recipes. And he was like, hey, you want to try this new recipe that we're doing for our espresso? And I was like, sure, go ahead. So he gave a double espresso to me, and it was a bit rude of my part to not drink it all. So there I was with already 4 shots and a cold brew of coffee. Then I had lunch and I had another coffee, an Americano. And now I'm having this carajillo, which has a double shot. So yeah, I'm basically shaking my hair off.
Please, I'm sorry, it's just a single shot. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
I think you're highly caffeinated.
Yeah.
When you said cold brew, I was like, oh, yeah. What time did you have the flat white in the morning?
8 a.m.
And when did you wake up?
7 a.m.
1 hour after you woke up, you had coffee.
So I always wait at least an hour until I drink my first coffee.
I feel like an hour is not long enough, I'm not gonna lie. I know it's not good to have a coffee straight after you wake up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's people that wake up and they're like, oh, my morning coffee and cigarette. And you're like, are you a person? Like that? No?
You're a person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes it's just calling, no? When you like wake up, you're like, I fucking need that caffeine before my water. I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes I'm waking up and I'm like, if I don't get that coffee, I don't think that I'm gonna be okay for the rest of the day.
Coffee is super comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like we talked about this last episode. It was like when you wake up and you drink a coffee with milk, it's just like you're having breakfast, you know? It's
That's a
amazing.
hug.
Yeah. So that was my morning coffees with a lot of S's.
Extended, yeah.
Yeah, extended S. It was really nice, actually. I liked it. Yeah. And how about you, Rob? Did you have any coffee?
You have to finish your question. Oh, how you got to raw.
Oh, right. So I was working already almost 2.5 years in the coffee industry here in Barcelona, and I knew all the raw team. And I decided to pursue another career path after my 2.5 year stint in the coffee world. But in the meantime, I was living right next to Raw, and since I had this friendship, I asked them if they'd be interested in just like sharing. You know, I was like, hey, I can be here and help you out a couple shifts, but like not a full contract, you know? And they were like, yeah, sure, of course. Like we could use a little bit of help with the coffee. One thing led to another, and I work at Raw. Yeah, it's been a while now, but yeah, I actually think that all my coffee friendships come this way, you know? Like I actually started my first coffee job since my girlfriend at the time was friends with the owner of a coffee place. And I had coffee in the mornings there, and I was like, hey, I'd love to learn about coffee. And he was like, I have a job on the weekends. Do you want to join? And I was like, sure, let's do it.
Yep.
Again, like that's how you enter. I mean, if you like just an advice for the audience, if you want a job in coffee, just go grab coffee.
The thing about coffee is like that's a skill that can bring you almost anywhere in the world. Same with like hairdressing, same with electricity, same with all this kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
True.
But what I love about working in a coffee shop, and I noticed this even in Dublin, is that I started to learn different language. Like now working here, it's an easy job to get into because I don't need to know so much Spanish. A very like set menu of Spanish. And then you can kind of get away with it. And I think it's the same with like the Netherlands. You were saying to me before, like almost a lot of people speak English.
Exactly.
So like you definitely can learn a language really easy, or it gets you in the door without necessarily knowing so much in a foreign country, right? And you can kind of start to make some money. You can start your life there and obviously keep learning, keep practicing. But we have talked about before about this idea of making barista-ing a career. Like starting a podcast. Right? But I had a lot of fun with a recipe book. A barista for sure wrote that. And then we have done pop-ups in different locations. So what's really happening in the coffee scene now in terms of barista as a career, coffee consulting. This is the start of like this kind of third wave movement of being able to go around and offer advice, how to open up your own coffee shop. What you get started with, where can people go when they're like a little bit lost or they just haven't reached that point yet?
So yeah, what's your take on coffee consulting?
Look, well, I do think that if even in some specialty places, I don't think that it's like a not needed job, because I do think that some places can actually use consulting in coffee, because when you go in there, when you taste the coffee or talk to the barista, when you realize that they don't know what they're doing, okay, then you can say that maybe with some a little procedures and like training, this place can be, can become better. Hence, you can get more people, more sales, more selling coffee, etc. So I do think that it's a good option if you're a barista or you've been in the coffee industry for a long time and you want to be more independent than opening your own place. I think it's a great blend between all the possible options.
Yeah, the coffee industry is not a standardized industry, which is a good thing. But I do want the quality to get better across the board with the barista skills, because we know that like barista skills are something that can be taught. But like, I think the other side, and what most people realize, it's like the connection with the barista is also very important. At how they like welcome you into the space. Those are things that are much harder to be taught.
So basically, the next step in the industry would be barista coaching then.
But Can I just say something? I've seen a lot of Instagram reels on it that I've seen people who are literally coaching baristas. There are like I think I've seen coaches for latte art or like just they call themselves coaches under the like traineeship or something. So I think it depends on however you want to name it.
And it started as a joke, but the more I think about it, it makes sense. You know, you're teaching the technical aspects of the coffee industry, but how about the emotional part? You know, you're not touching the ambience, which we talked about being something really important. But how do you teach that? How do you transmit that? You're not giving out a course or a lecture on how to talk to the customer or how to be nice, you know, but it's something coaches do. But do you think there's a space for something such as like coaching in the hospitality industry, or we could go ahead and even say coaching inside the barista world, you know? Like how do you teach someone to be a great barista? Only technical skills, or
I
have the part as well?
I actually have a take on this, if I may. So
That's what we're here.
yeah,
Connect your coffee notions.
so I'm not condemning baristas for not being social. Sometimes the workload is hard. Maybe you're working long hours or it's been a terrible day, but I do think that this job comes with the great need of soft skills, right? You have to be sociable. You have to be able to have a little conversation with people or like spread some good vibes. Because 2 3 days ago, I went to this coffee shop in the Barcelona center, La Rambla. And I entered there, so I'm trying to talk with the barista because he's taking my order. I'm saying like, hey, I'm really looking for a V60 with a co-fermentation. Do you have something like that? And he's like, no, I just have Colombia on the filter. I'm like, okay, I'm looking for something else. Like, do you have any take or what's your favorite? He's like, no, I just have this. Then I take my coffee, go to the V60 bar because Rob and I think you also when you make meat V60, you have actually a lot of time to talk with people, you know, like a small chat between that 30 seconds that you're rating. I'm looking there chatting. They were using Oreo drip. I'm saying like, oh, what do you think about it? Because I don't use it. I would like to hear your take on it. No answer.
Blank.
Blank.
Jeez.
Just makes my coffee and gives it, and I'm like, okay, then I guess I have to leave now.
Do you think that affected your experience like in a negative way? I'm just saying, like, if you blind tasted that coffee, would you say it was nice, or did this experience already like condition you to think that the coffee wasn't good?
I mean, the vibes were off for sure, but
You're probably still thinking about the awkward conversation.
yeah.
As you're drinking the whole coffee, then you realize it's gone. You're like, oh,
Well, yeah, exactly like that.
done.
So just because of that, the coffee wasn't that bad. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't a perfect cup of coffee, but it wasn't bad. But would I go back to that place? I don't think so.
There you go. I have a rule now. Before I pass judgment on a coffee shop, I have to go minimum twice. I've started it now. Yeah.
Fair.
Still have not satisfied those requirements. I've been back with them once. And I think that is true. Because like I know bad things can happen, like a Quaker can get through. I don't know, like something could fall into the tree. And things do happen. Like, so that's why you have to go back twice.
So Rob, I'm still interested in knowing what did you drink today?
Well, I was working today in all fairness. I try not to drink coffee straight out of bed. I try to have like a nice cup of tea to raise the body temperature, etc., etc. But then when I went to work today, I was dialing in, so I had some espresso.
The barista breakfast.
Breakfast, yeah. And then cafe con leche, always, because I like people are gonna try the espresso. So I always try a latte just to make sure it's good. And then I don't think I had too much more after. I just tried the filter. Pretty good. I did recently try a very nice V60 from. Well, I brewed it, but the beans were for. The beans I thought were good. They were from Dak Roasters, which you people may know is from Amsterdam, right?
Yeah.
And actually, it was very good with lithium. No, it was actually Kenyan coffee. It was very good.
Would I be able to see it when I go to the cafe?
Is there any left or any left? Ooh, I don't know.
Oof.
This is one thing, right? So obviously, maybe people don't know, but yeah, Huten does work with me. Like, I'm the other barista. We do get truck coffees together often.
And then I just take them home.
Thank you. I forgot. Yeah, sometimes people have gifted me a bag of coffee, and I come in the next day and it's gone. And I'm like, I didn't get to try it.
So it's the fairies.
The fairies.
The fairies.
Keep bricks very clean.
Yeah.
Okay, I also have, on the topic of names of drinks, by the way, because we were looking for one for the Templadito.
True.
Right?
Which I love, by the way.
Templadito.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know what the English translation would be. But so I went to another coffee shop this weekend, or last weekend. And they had, I thought this was genius, iced White Lotus latte. Obviously, the new season of the White Lotus has just come out. Really cool. It's really bourgeoisie moment.
Oh.
And I asked what it was, and they said it's an iced latte with condensed milk and lotus biscuits. And I was a bit like, okay.
Latte with condensed milk is a thing in Spain, no?
Yeah.
Like espresso with condensed milk.
How's it called? Leche de... No, you don't know.
Leche condensada.
No,
Milk or what?
yes,
coffee
it is.
drink.
No, the milk thing.
Oh, yeah. The
Dulce de leche.
Dulce de leche. No,
Ah,
that's different.
No.
Dulce de leche, it's the Argentinian. It's like milk with a lot of sugar that you mix it. It comes out really brown.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe this is just condensed milk then, okay? Which is super, super sweet. And then I guess it was espresso and the lotus biscuit. Lotus is delicious.
But I love the name, and in the topic of names, it's just like, don't you think that a name creates like a backstory in your head? Like if you're telling me you're going to drink a latte or a shot of coffee with condensed milk, for me it's just like, okay, I'm drinking this. But if you're telling me you're gonna let me try a White Lotus, just basically enhances the experience, and it's just like I am drinking something, you know.
The concept there, and it's like, this is what we present to you. It's topical. Like you got to operate in it, confronts you with the world's problems right there. That's your face.
I think I'm gonna be more pessimist on it. To me, it sounds more like, "Hey, I'm diabetes," you know.
It's dessert, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay that like the apricot flavors of this gorgeous washed Kenya, like aren't being found, because I'll point out just right now that we're all having carajillos, which
I mean,
has sugar in it, whatever. It's freaking delicious, It's the coffee flavor, is it?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's a flavor like coffee. I love coffee, and then sometimes I have a coffee like a nice V60, and I'm like, this doesn't taste like coffee though. It tastes like just other things. Juice.
It's more based on the experience a name can create,
Yeah.
So it's basically like if you were saying that you're going to go to a restaurant and you're going to eat coulant, or you're going to have chocolate volcano,
Yeah,
it's just a different experience. If you tell me I'm having a coulant, I imagine I'm eating regular coulant that everyone has. But if you tell me it's a chocolate volcano or
What's
a chocolate,
coulant?
it's the typical chocolate dessert from France that like it's just a little chocolate cake that you open it and there's like melted chocolate inside, But if you tell me coulant, it's like the standard name. It's like if I was going to have a bottle of wine and you tell me that the name is wine, it's just like, But right now I'm seeing a bottle that the name is anécdota, which is anecdote in Spanish, It just creates a different experience. Anécdota, like anecdote, you're gonna drink this and it's going to make a memorable moment. Or in the same way, I'm eating a chocolate lava volcano. It's just like, it's trademark, I'm drinking a White Lotus. I'm not drinking latte with condensed milk,
Yeah.
All right, so I want every listener right now stop the podcast, and I want you to send our email, coffeenotionspodcast@gmail.com, your drink of choice. So what you would name a drink, maybe it's out of your creation, send us a recipe, we'll try it, we'll review it on the podcast maybe.
Mhm.
Or if you think a drink that's in existence should be renamed. Maybe flat white's too complicated.
Or maybe café con leche is not complicated enough.
Yeah. Americano, very controversial.
You know where it comes from?
Where?
Actually, well, the legend says that when Americans came in the Second World War,
Yeah.
Italians were giving espresso or double espresso to Americans, and they were diluting it with water
Exactly.
because they didn't like the strong taste. They're used to the taste of like the drip coffee, exactly. And they started calling it like, oh, the coffee for the Americano.
Yeah.
There it comes from.
And now with certain political changes,
Oh yeah,
the rest of the world is like, no, fuck this. Like, we're not calling it Americano.
And let's call it long black.
Ooh, what's the difference between a long black and an Americano?
It's just potato and potato, but let's say
Barista and his emotions.
Pedro Pascal wouldn't agree.
No. Okay, so let's say that Americana has the double shot of espresso first, and then you break the espresso with water, whereas long black has the water first and the espresso after.
I think that's what I've heard mostly as well.
To me, it's kind of similar as the cereal theory, you know? Like, they put the cereal first or the milk first. And let's not get into that.
The cereal first.
That's the cereal first, right? Because then maybe you put too much milk in.
Not the top.
No, makes sense.
Unless you're heating that milk in the microwave. Anyway,
Getting back to the topic. Let's boycott Americano. That's it. Not black. Or black long. If you're gonna invert it. Have you heard that in Canada they're changing the name?
Canadiano.
Canadiano.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Canadiano.
I love it actually.
When you imagine here it'd be like Españolano or something like that.
It's Australian,
Yeah.
they say long black.
But Italians also say long black, but they say lungo, you know?
It's hot water and double espresso.
No, lungo is a hot water and a single shot of espresso. That's what I know. And when someone tells me lungo, that's what I give. Because you don't want the espresso itself, but you want something short and strong. It makes sense. Which for me, I prefer lungo over espresso because to me espresso itself is too intense, the flavor and everything. So I like to break it with water a little bit. And to me, it's the perfect experience.
I just think Italians overcomplicate themselves with coffee.
But I was just going to say that the Australians and the New Zealanders are doing it too. They're always at war with who made the flat white.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
Which came first? The flat white or the long white? Or the long white?
Lungo.
Long white.
Lungo
Longo.
means long.
The long white could be the templadito. It means like you've left the milk out of the fridge for a little bit. It's like a long white.
I think we can sure say that it kind of evolved because if we look at it in the very traditional way, the way the Italians make it now, the way they drink their coffee there. Oh my God, we need to cut that. The way they drink their coffee is quite different where you would get a coffee in the Netherlands, Spain, or anywhere else, because when you say latte there, you might get just a glass of milk. Or where
And no coffee.
yeah,
In Italy.
yeah.
That's an incredible fact. Thank you.
Or the way they make the cappuccino is quite different, the latte macchiato and everything. Where that's the thing. I think it differs from place to place.
Can you actually tell us about the Netherlands? What's the coffee scene like there?
The coffee scene in the Netherlands, I would say the Dutch people are quite coffee connoisseurs because they will tell if the coffee is bad or good.
Yeah.
They do appreciate good coffee, but the most I think the most drink the how do you say it?
The most drunk drink?
Yeah, and the Netherlands it's just Americano, but they call it coffee. So it's just when you hear coffee in the Netherlands, means you're getting Americano. You get a straight black coffee.
Yeah, like when I used to work at my previous cafeteria, there was this guy, a Greek guy. He came in and he was like, "Hey, have you tried Greek frozen coffee?" And I was like, "No, I haven't."
I love it. It's espresso freddo.
Yeah,
Delicious.
it's amazing. And he was like, "I'll teach you." And he got inside the bar, and I was like, "Okay, it's a chill day. I'm just going to let this stranger get inside my bar and coffee with me." I did the coffee, and he was like teaching me and saying everything. It like was amazing.
Yeah.
My first Greek coffee was in Barcelona, and then when I went to Greece, I tried the coffee, and it tasted the same. It was amazing.
Wow.
Making connections.
Making connections, right? Question from the floor.
Question from the floor. Question from the floor.
I have one question for each of you, but the rule is you can't repeat the answer, okay? So you need to say one thing that it's not like coffee related that makes your job important for you.
Want to go first?
So the one part that I like about my job that is not coffee related, I think, is to the amount of people that you get to know. You slowly establish that relationship just over a coffee, but you kind of get to know a lot of people.
I mean, the people aspect is really nice. I'd say like I love the processes that are inside the world of coffee. Like you need to follow a process to do everything, and you need to be organized. And like at least for me, that's like it's really cool that if you follow a process, like you can do like we were talking about last episode, like this alchemy. If you did a process different, the factors affect so much that if you put water before, you're gonna get a completely different flavor. And it's just like it's crazy that you can follow like a path, you know, to arrive to where you want to be. So that's quite cool.
And I think I would say the outfit. The outfit, yeah. We're doing good work, right? I do believe. But we need to be aesthetic in everything. In everything. So I like to have an outfit that looks good.
Then can I say that I'm the barista final boss with the tattoos, mustache, and the loafers and everything?
You're just missing the Salomons that you never
Yeah.
take to the mountains.
Ah,
and you don't give them
yeah.
the proper life, such as Rob does with his Salomons.
I'm wearing a lot of shorts now, and I honestly hate the way I look at them. I hate the way I feel on them. I feel like a schoolboy. But I think they would look good if I wear my white socks and my open sandal Birkenstocks, okay? It's an aesthetic.
Summer. I remember you were wearing like that.
Producers do not talk. So, and today was super busy. And I was just thinking to myself, imagine I was wearing those Birkenstocks with the socks. As comfortable as they are, they're not exactly the most mobile. And it would have slowed me down so much. And I can just see someone like twittering or whatever being like, maybe if my barista took off his Birkenstocks and put on some actual shoes, I will get my drink faster. And that comes from the fact that we actually got a 1-star review today. Dios mío. Yeah.
Was it related to the sandals or?
No, it was because this coffee to come out quick enough. A topic often spoken about in specialty coffee, right? How long it should take. Now, we were overwhelmed by the amount of people who came in today because we didn't realize that Primavera was on this weekend. They got pretty busy. But the amount of love that went into every single coffee, I have to say. So anyways, that's what my answer would be on the barista style.
Nice.
So we're coming to the end of the episode now. I just want to say thank you so much to Huten, the barista from Bricks, for coming onto the podcast. It's been really special to have you on. This one about making connections.
Thank you guys for finally inviting me to this show that I've been begged you for the last 3 episodes.
That you've clearly been listening to, yeah.
I listened to the first one, but I'd say.
Martin, would you like to give us your Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram as fetamcor, which is fet.amb.cor. How about you?
.com. Not yet. I'm Coffee Otter BCN on Instagram, and you can write to us on coffeenotionspodcast@gmail.com because we want to know what drinks you think should be renamed, what drinks are we missing,
And what drinks are you drinking also?
yeah, like what's that one where you're like, oh, every time I have to go to the barista, I have to explain this big shenanigan. If only there was a name for this. So yeah. So thanks for listening, and I guess we'll see you in the next episode. Question from the floor.
Question from the floor.
Question from the floor.
Question from the floor.
Just that.
Yes.
Question from the floor.